You don't speak Spanish or no hablas inglés? No problem. We have included subtitles for English, Spanish, Portuguese and French.
I have never felt so loved in my life after I got on the ship.
Did you also have like some relationships on board?
I think that's also one element that makes you really addicted. Some passengers ask our staff, where do you sleep? You know, that means those girls sleep with like some nationalities, and there are a lot, so they're collecting the flags.
Why do you think like the relationships on board are that much different from like regular life? What is causing the differences? Hello, Mi.
Hi.
Thank you very much for taking part in Getting to Know Humanity. Let's start with the lightning round. I will ask you quick questions. Eggs or chocolate?
Chocolate, all the way.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Big city or small town life?
Oh, somewhere in between, definitely.
Friends with benefits or a stable relationship?
Stable relationship, which I have never got.
Hawaii or Alaska?
Oh, Alaska.
And the last question, living forever or being able to teleport yourself?
Living forever.
Living forever, all right. So, can you introduce yourself really quickly? Like, what's your name? What are you working?
Okay,
how old are you?
yeah, my name is Misaki. Everybody calls me Mi. Some people don't know my real name. And I work here as an IT worker in Budapest, Hungary. It's been already 1 year since I got here. I came here in the middle of pandemic, so I haven't really enjoyed it. And I'm already about to leave this city.
All right. At the beginning of the interview, you told me that you've worked on a ship. Can you tell us the story about it?
Yeah, sure. So I started working on the ship as soon as I graduated my university, and it was like one of the best and the craziest decision I could ever take at that time. Joining that graduation party, I went to Miami directly, and on the second day I started working on the ship as a trainee. I was studying like guest services, you know, how to deal with the complaints, because people come at the desk only when they have a problem. So those people come at guest services, which where I work, and like, you know, talk about their problems that they have with the ship that we have. For example, like noise complaints, you know, even with the noise complaint, there are a lot of subjects like the show time or like some ship noise. Like they express it is like it's a banging noise or something exploded in the ship. No, it doesn't. Yeah. So that was like mainly a job. We had like 14 staff. You know, it's a huge ship with the capacity of 6,000 people. So we had everything on the ship, from medical center, casino, restaurant, of course, bar, and we also had a place to sleep. Of course, it was, you know, like below the guest cabins, and it was funny because we got a lot of questions about where we sleep. Like some passengers ask our staff, where do you sleep? And they joke around, oh, we actually don't sleep here. There is like submarine next to our ship, and every night we go into the submarine and sleep there. And the passengers believe in that shit. And some people, I heard, they kind of get fined or they get the penalty by telling the guests truth, although they were just joking.
All right. And can you tell a bit about the working conditions on the ship?
Working condition, work-life balance does not exist on the ship. It's all about work. Let's say we have to work up to 8 hours a day. But of course, overwork happens and we don't get paid for that. We pack the passengers and we unpack the passengers. Sometimes when I was working in European cruise, I didn't have any rest because I had like 100 Japanese passengers to take care. And let's say I went to bed around 1 a.m. because of the night shift, and I got woke around like 5 a.m.
All right. So you worked 7 months on this ship?
On the first ship, and then after that I changed the company to go to Europe. Then I worked 4 months and two months vacation and 4 months. But 2 months vacation is not paid.
All right. Why did you decide it? If the working conditions are that hard, why did you decide to do it again?
That's a good question. But once you work on the ship, it's very, very addictive. So you go to the ship and then you meet those crazy people, like only crazy people want to work on the ship, like abandoning their families and friends on land. But I'd say that only on the ship you can be yourself, like you do not have to think about your background or, where you come from or the connection that you have built on the land. So yeah, you can truly express yourself. And people just love you as yourself. And we get to see each other every single day. And so our connections and, just affection just grow intensely. That's how, I have never felt so loved in my life after I got on the ship.
How was the food on the ship? Like, did you get at least good food?
Yeah, well, at least the food was free. So, things change, depends on the ship. For example, it actually depends on the location how ship is close to Miami because it's a headquarters. So the ship that I was in Caribbean, the food was really good. They had a very nice hamburger shop and they had a super good pizza, 24 hours pizza stand.
All right. How many stops, how many days do you work until you get a stop and the rest?
All right, good question. So remember, the cruise is longer the better. So my cruise was 10 days, and let's say I had 7 ports. So first one day, I got a sea day, and second day, we were already at the port. Let's say Spain, Malaga, and then we went to Morocco. Of course, we got another sea day. We got some complaints because people are bored. So let's say 7 ports, 6 ports out of 10 days.
All right, so every 6 to 10 days you get how many rest days do you get then?
Let's say 3 days out of 10 days.
All right, interesting. And do the supervisors also, are they really strict? Do they also do overtime or?
Yeah, they usually go overtime.
Did you also have some relationships on board?
I think that's also one element that makes you really addicted to the ship life. Yes, I had a thing with the Polish people, and it's funny because we kind of tend to get the tendency, and it's obvious, and we love gossip because that's the only thing we can enjoy doing during the work time, right? So once you date somebody, next morning, everybody at the workplace knows. So while my colleagues used to say that they collect their flags, that means those girls sleep with some nationalities, and there are a lot, so they're collecting the flags.
Flags, yes.
Yeah.
I see.
So in my case, they were saying Misaki has something to do with the Balkan and Poland, and yeah, that was actually it.
Are there any relationships between customers and employees?
That's a very no question, and that's the first thing that we are told not to do, and I strictly follow that.
How many times did you go on the ship?
I went 3 times, so 3 contracts. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And the longest time when you went on a ship was
7 months. Yeah,
7
that was
months.
7 months.
All right. And when was the last time you took a trip on the boat?
As a passenger or as an employee?
Employee.
That was already 2019.
The last time is already 2 or 3 years ago. Are you missing the ship life?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes, especially after I finish the cruising, I crazily miss it every night, and then I regret it. Was that the right choice or not?
I can understand it more or less, why you become addicted to that life, but can you explain it a bit more in detail? What makes it so attractive to work such crazy hours and not have vacation and not have stable Wi-Fi and all the other conditions that you mentioned?
I would say that people are the best attraction on the ship. They treat you like a family. So, for example, when I got on my first European cruise, I arrived in Spain, the airport in Spain, and I lost everything simultaneously. That means, so I was waiting for the hotel bus, and somebody stole all my luggage. One was a huge, like a 20 kilo, and another one is a smaller, but it was like 10 kilo. I packed everything for my entire 4 months contract, and yeah, like in 5 seconds it was gone, and like I was so shocked. Then was not sure if I could continue my journey to work on the ship. So I was like, at some point, like I started crying in the ship, you know, realizing that I lost everything. And those people saw me crying. And like next day, I got a lot of like gifts from my coworkers. I got like underwear, like from female workers, and some just necessities that I need day to day. And like I even got a perfume from the food operation manager.
All right. Great, thanks.
Yeah.
If someone sees the video who thinks about working on a ship as well, how much do you earn on that per month as a salary, maybe in US dollars?
That's a really good question. Yes, I got paid by US dollars, and it was for my first contract as an associate, $1,800 per month. And with, of course, you know, like you don't have to pay for the rent, for food, and blah blah blah. So you actually get rich by working on a ship.
What do you think? Like, what kind of personality should you have to be able to do that?
Open-mindedness. Like open-mindedness is just, I think, the only thing that matters at the end. Open-mindedness, like do not hurt anybody.
Why do you think like the relationships on board are that much different from like regular life? What is causing the differences?
Because of the density and the intensity and the intimacy that I spend on board, it is. I say ship relationship is something very, very spontaneous. So first thing first, you are very true to yourself. Like on land, it doesn't matter if you're shy or introverted. On the ship, you go for it. You know, like you just show your interest to the person, and there is always a chance. There's always a chance that you can pick out anybody you want.
All right, great, thank you very much. So as a last question. What would you say do all humans have in common?
I would say all humans have stupidity, and we don't really learn from the past. You know, we repeat our mistakes because that's what we do. You know, that also what makes us different from machines. But there is always pros and the cons. You know, like even about making a mistake. So I think being stupid, making mistakes is what we have, and that's why we need more time.
Last words, great. Do you have any comments or some question that I haven't asked you, which you think would be interesting or important?
Do you want to work on the ship?
I'm actually curious, to be honest.
Yes, I think you can work. Yeah, there are a lot of departments, so you know we even have a photographer part and a technician ones as well. So.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for the interview,
Thank you.
Maybe see you in a couple of months or years again.
All right.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video and for your support. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much.